Hi guys, and welcome to the video. Today I'm going to be sharing you a little walkthrough of this journaling Bible that I've been using for the past 2 or so years. I shared on Instagram that I had finished this one and kind of did a quick flip through of some of my past journaling Bibles, and a lot of you were asking for a more in-depth walkthrough, so here that is. I'm going to stick with just the New Testament in this video so that it's not too long, and then maybe we can flip through the rest of it at another point. So I just wanted to start off by saying that if you've been on the fence about starting a journaling Bible, this is your encouragement to do so. It is so much fun to walk through this Bible that I worked on for 2 years and get a glimpse into what my faith was like over this time. It's a great way to keep track of your growth with God. I write a lot of prayers and things that I'm feeling in here, and it's cool to look back and see how God has worked through my life since then, how God has answered those prayers, how God has guided me. And I think that's probably my favorite part of Bible journaling, is just documenting the growth. I shared a little bit about that in the Instagram video. I had around 7 years of journaling Bibles, and you could really kind of see the changes in my walk with Christ through them, and how I was learning and how I was growing. And I think that's the most important part of all. So I think that if you've been on the fence, this is your encouragement to do so, to have that spiritual record to look back on, and not only for you, but to share with others as well. When someone's going through something that I have been through, I can point them, this is what my spiritual journey looked like at that time. This is what my faith looked like. This is what I was praying, and this is how God worked in my life and answered those prayers. And you have this kind of resource and tool that you can share with other people, which I think is just great. You'll see throughout this Bible something that I've done. I started in this Bible and I definitely want to continue it. I have these little orange flags on the pages, and those are to mark verses that I've highlighted that I think are so important to sharing the gospel and finding salvation. So if I'm ever have my Bible with me and I want to talk to somebody about Christ, or I want to kind of point them in the Bible to verses that I think are really important for them to know and memorize, I have them all marked out and I can easily find them and flip to them. And that is one of my favorite things. As we're flipping through Luke, you can see this is one of the few books where I really stuck to a nice theme throughout the whole book, which I personally love. I think it looks cool. I really tried to stick to one theme in each book when I started this Bible, and that did not happen because I would have different highlighters with me. I would read it at different times. Luke was one of the few that I actually read straight through. I did it with a R.C. Sproul expository study, which was great. I learned so much, if you can't tell by all the things I had to write down, because I did not want to forget them. I think this is wonderful because then I can look back and just from reading the Bible, I can find all the things I learned. So there's one of those little sticky notes and highlighted verses that I just thought was great. I didn't have much in John, but here's another verse that I took out of it that I thought was really helpful. I get a lot of questions about what my kind of system is for Bible journaling, so I thought I'd share a little bit of that here with you guys if you've been, curious about Bible journaling, don't know where to start, anything like that. I know a lot of people have kind of a system they use, and I think that's great. I love that. I'm just not that organized of a person, to be honest. Really, I just highlight anything that sticks out to me if I want to make a note about it for some reason. If I'm reading it and that verse is just calling out to me, or God lays something on my heart about that verse, I highlight it. So there's not a kind of set rhyme or reason. I don't have like a color coding system. I just kind of use whatever colors I'm feeling like using that day. As far as like the bigger things that I write, usually in cursive, that's usually like overarching themes for that passage, verses that really stuck out to me that I think are just, I want to flip back to this page and see immediately, to know what this page is about, to know what I'm going to read if I read this page, things like that. And then the little notes could really be anything. I add a lot of historical and cultural context that I learn from sermons or books or podcasts, anything like that I add in, just so I can easily remember it and find it next time I read. I add a lot of times I'll be reading something and I just feel like a prayer on my heart that I want to pray, and I'll add that in. This is me saying I love the book of Romans. It is one of my favorites for sure. Um, I'll make connections to other verses, passages, songs or hymns that I like, anything like that I'll add in. So the notes are kind of just free for all of anything I feel the need to add. Again, my main purpose here is the ease of readability for me or somebody else in the future reading this passage, that they can learn the things that I learned, contemplate the things that I contemplated, pray the prayers that I pray if I share this with anybody. Once again, if you've been kind of on the fence about Bible journaling or just not sure if it's for you, not sure where to start, I really want to encourage you to just try. I get a lot of comments of people who are worried that, their Bible won't look pretty or anything like that, and it's really not about that. As somebody who has always loved to take pretty notes all throughout school, who has spent years practicing calligraphy, does art for a job, of course I'm always going to enjoy making things look pretty, but at the end of the day, my Bible is for me and God only. Like I said, I love the idea of being able to share this with somebody else and have them learn the things that I learned, but not because it's pretty, because it's got so much truth and goodness. And as I mentioned in the beginning, you can see my spiritual growth here, and I think that's the most important part. So if you're feeling nervous, I really encourage you to give it a try, especially if you're a visual learner like me. This has helped me so much, because a lot of times if I'm just reading a text, I find myself zoning out, getting lost, and I'm like, what have I been reading for the past 10 minutes? Because I have no idea. And this helps me stay focused, stay on track, remember what I'm reading, so that way I don't wake up the next day and be like, what did I just learn last night? I can look back and I can read it and I can easily remember. So this has been really helpful to me. And like I said, just tracking my spiritual growth has been so amazing. It's easy to forget what we've been praying about and how God has maybe answered our prayers and we forgot or didn't even notice. So I love having this to look back on and see all the things that God did in my life that I might have just honestly forgot about, unfortunately, and remember all those amazing things that He's done for me. As we get towards the end, the last book here, Revelation, this is honestly so dear to my heart. I did a really good study with some amazing other women this year on Revelation, and I learned so much. It was so helpful. You can see, I feel like the more notes I have in a book, the more I was likely to have learned or did a study on it, whereas some books is more just my personal thoughts and feelings as I read. You can see I had a lot to write down here. I was learning so much good stuff, so much historical context, which I always love to have. I love history, and I think it really helps to read and understand the Bible in context of the people who these letters were written to. As we reach the end of the video, I just want to thank you guys for joining me, and I pray that you would just continue to grow in your own spiritual faith, whether it be through Bible journaling or whatever personal means that you have that helps you connect with God, that you would use those and be inspired to try new ones and see what helps your faith grow even more. Thank you for watching.